Who just joined? This is Bo in Boise. I think Michelle's. I believe next month we'll probably want to spend the better part of our time talking about and preparing for the retreat. We have there are two groups of folks, for those of you that work that he's been doing and what it looks like, where it comes from. And part of the setup for all of this, at least in my mind, is that we are not really operating in the scientific world that we thought we were operating in when we were in graduate school. And even for those of us that have graduated recently, we probably weren't operating in that world then either. The idea of science as a fixed and objective enterprise in which you can discover facts and then you feed the facts out into some other process and people take the right action based on them might only have been a figment of the imagination of our professors at the time, and so that's stretching back, decades, if not generations, before where we are right now. It's no secret that we're in a highly politically charged environment when it comes to science, which maybe isn't anything new, but at least probably in our experience or our perception, it's as bad as it has been since the time of maybe Galileo or certainly Scopes. And that should give us some pause about how we do our work. We can do great work, get it peer-reviewed, and we might be writing for an audience of the 3 people who are our peer reviewers in the journal. We need to be thinking about how do we get our work accepted by, viewed as credible by, and used by much broader audiences. And that, I'm not at all suggesting that that changes the quality of the output. In fact, I think some of what John is going to share with us are tools and techniques that might actually improve the quality of the output because we can engage more minds in the process of thinking through what it is we're doing. So kind of with all of that as backdrop, what John is going to be talking about and what I'd like us to be thinking about a little bit as we go into the retreat and thinking about how we approach our work is whether and how we can involve more people in doing our work, collaborating on our work, providing data, kicking the tires, giving us new ideas for models, for modeling, and it kind of goes well beyond simply being aware of what else is out there to actually enlisting other people's help in doing this, and as a reciprocal type of relationship, also sharing our work more broadly. To me, a very good example of this from some stuff I've been doing recently in ecosystem services is that when I was looking around trying to find a good model to use for our work in the North Cascades and with this climate change cost of inaction thing, I approached the Natural Capital Project, which is a collaboration between the Woods Institute and TNC and the World Wildlife Fund. Very much old paradigm, really, of kind of approach where we, that being the Natural Capital Project, will develop this model, and then you other people can use it in a fairly strict proscribed way. On the other end of the spectrum are the folks that I actually did end up working with at the Gund Institute, where they have much more of an open source approach, and they want to have lots of people providing data, providing models, changing parameters, and all that sort of thing. And it was first of all actually possible to partner with them, and also to be accepted into the process as somebody who's pushing the development of their model. I mean, we took theirs from a small sort of sub-watershed type of analysis to something we've applied on a continental scale, and that was all welcome and good for them. Very big differences in the funding and the ability to carry things forward, but the approach of those two couldn't have been a greater contrast, and I think the latter, the Gund Institute model, is possibly one where we can think about moving some of our work. So without any further chewing up of John's time, I'm going to turn it over to him. And John usually will jump right in and ask questions as you go. And I know you're used to that from your interview, so have at it, and the rest of us have